This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alek, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what-ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us. Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound. Hope you guys are having a great day, because we know we are. So, I don't know, Alek, if you've noticed it as much as I've noticed on TikTok, but every other video is some form of AI doing something.
Yeah, brother.
And a big one that's in the news right now is AI copying artists' voice. So, for example, the one that's going right now is a song called Heart on Your Sleeves that is AI made using Drake's and The Weeknd's voice.
Yeah, I saw that. Kind of insane, to be honest.
And like, so I listened to it when it was put out, and then like my feed, obviously on TikTok, its algorithm is AI stuff now, and it's like, here's XXXTentacion doing Juice WRLD song, or here's Will Smith doing a love ballad, or here's whoever doing whatever. And the argument being made from one side and to the other side is this should be perfectly fine. And then the other side of the coin is this is incredibly illegal and fraud and whatever. Where do you fall on the perspective of AI art, AI music?
All right, so I think let's start with art, right? Because they're two different things. They are two very different things, right? AI, kind of. They fit in the same category, but they're also separate. When it comes to like AI art, I personally think it's a very good tool for people to use for, let's say, references, or if you're a writer and you need help describing something, and you just need that visual aspect to help describe it. AI could fill in the blanks for you. If you only know you want like this fantasy world that's in like a dystopian setting, kind of, you could type that into an AI generator and it pops out this like scenery that you can describe better, right? Yeah. Or again, artists can use that as reference and stuff. I think it starts crossing the line of not being okay when people start using it for not that, I suppose is the best way to put it. Especially when they're the type of individuals who will type in a couple things and then put it on social media and claim it as their own. And this includes the people that will say that claim to spend, 50 hours or 10 to 50 hours working and trying to figure out a perfect way to write something out, and then scrolling through all the stuff. Like, it's akin to like going through Google Images to me.
Yeah.
And I know it does take time, don't get me wrong, but a lot of these like prompts that they use also are using other artists' like literally says in the style of artist name, you know what I'm saying? And since AI takes everything that it learns or it needs from the internet, you're essentially just taking other people's pieces of art or images from the internet and combining it without doing any work whatsoever.
Yeah.
And like all AI images, like you can kind of tell now what's AI and what isn't, because like there's just a lot of janky things amongst it. And I think if people want to start like using it and claiming it as an art form, it needs to be kind of its own category of art. You can't just be calling it like digital art or call yourself a designer because you typed a couple things in, if that makes sense, because you're not really designing anything. AI kind of puts pieces together from what you say. Again, it's kind of like if you wanted to write Harry Potter and you're just like, oh yeah, give me a story about 3 teenagers that go to magical school for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? That is, and then like something spits out everything else. Like you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? You gave a very base concept or what exactly you were looking for, and it did the rest. Like it's just one of those things where it's kind of a fine line, because I think it's cool. I do think it's a good tool when used as a tool and not as like a primary thing.
And and this is my take, at least on AI art. I use it. I use it for the TikTok videos I make where I'm telling a ghost story. I use AI art generators to make the cover art essentially for the stories. I use it for in our D&D to make our characters, to make some maps. Um, but I think, as you're saying, like part of the issue becomes these people who aren't using it for personal usage that spend 100 hours using prompts and finding the right prompts and the right randomizer number and all of these things to create a work that isn't original because you're using other people's work, and then entering that said work into contests for original work and then and winning, or placing and knocking people who I spent 50 to 60 to 100 hours hand drawing something. We've discussed it, and while, like you said, the medium of AI art can definitely be a thing, it just needs to be its own thing. It needs to be preference that if you're going to enter AI art into art shows and art competitions, it needs its own said category. It should never be placed with human hand drawn, hand painted, digitally made art. It should have its own section that, okay, this is the AI art section. This is what everybody submitted. This is the artist, and they have to tag the artist that they've used as the inspiration for the AI art. I think that is only fair.
I also think it's a lot of these like AI artists, quote unquote, that claim to work like 100 hours to do all this stuff. I don't think they realize how long that is. Like, I remember seeing something where someone was like, "Oh yeah, this person spent 100 hours doing this, but I spent 100 hours and got this." But they did, but it was like, but I did mine in a week and it took them months. And it's like, I don't know if you realize how long 100 hours is.
Right? So like, 3 full work weeks.
Yeah, in like, if you're able to do that in a week, it's not true. Like, it's not, because like when an artist does take 6 months, 3 to 6 months to do something, they usually are spending a ridiculous amount of time on their painting and stuff. And it also comes down to, I feel like the value of AI art is not comparable to the value of handmade art as well. It's kind of, I think I said it yesterday, it's kind of like diamonds, for example. Like natural diamonds are worth way more than machine pressed ones. And there's a reason for that, and it's the same with art, honestly. Like, I think personally, even I would rather, if someone gave me 2 identical pieces and they said one, or 2 similar pieces, and they said one was for sure proven to be handmade while the other one wasn't, I would value the handmade one way more.
Yeah, it's a similar, and it goes with any industry, any item. Coke is valued higher than Coca-Cola flavored or store brand because it is original, it is the one of a kind, and everything else is copying it. And that's what it comes down to AI art. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to argue it, AI art is a copy of something else, because that's how it works. It takes all this information that is out available on the internet and combines it to generate something for you, depending on the words you use, the artist name you use, whatever, however you describe it. It is taking from something else to become something, which inherently isn't a bad thing. That's how America works. That's how capitalism society works. Like Coke, Pepsi, all of that. Like, it comes and like people go off of it. It's not a bad thing. But then, while AI art is one avenue, and like you said, AI art for the most part, it isn't a victimless crime or victimless medium. Like, there are a lot of artists who get their stuff taken without getting the appropriate recognition for it, or get it taken without permission. But I think AI music is a whole new avenue of fraud and theft and just a whole lot of bad. I have no positives for it. So like we said earlier, I said earlier, the big thing going right now is a song called Sleeve on Your Hearts by some dude named AI Ghostwriter. Use AI technology that's out there to he made a beat.
Mhm.
Cool, great, fantastic. Make beats. He wrote the lyrics. Cool, fantastic. 2 pluses right there. But then he decided to use this AI technology to have Drake do a verse and The Weeknd do a chorus. And then he put it on Spotify, where it got almost 1 million listens. It had over like 16 million listens on TikTok and had another like 600,000 views on YouTube. Eventually, obviously, it was taken down by the music corporation that owns Drake's, not like this, but his
UMG, right?
Yeah, UMG. It was taken down by UMG because of fraud. This person made money off of it, or if he did make money off of it, he's gonna get sued down. And Spotify's in trouble because they need to protect artists. Whole nine. We're not gonna get into that part of it at the moment. We're gonna get to why people think it's okay. I remember seeing a tweet that was like praising this artist for doing it, this man for doing it, and there was like, this is a Napster moment. No, it is not. Like, a Napster moment would be Drake, The Weeknd making songs and then putting it out for free outside of Spotify or outside of anything, and just put it on YouTube or DatPiff or any of those sites without asking for money. That would be a Napster moment where they're like, screw my music company, I'm going to give the fans free music. This is misleading audiences, because if you're not a TikTok person, a YouTube person, and you walk by and you hear your kid listen to music, and you know who Drake and The Weeknd are, you're gonna think it's a new Drake and Weeknd song, and then you'll probably download it and like, cool. And that's not an okay thing. Another tweet I saw was someone was saying, well, people don't own the frequencies their voice make. You're right. At no point in human history have we thought it was necessary to copyright voices, because it was an inherent belief that your voice belonged to you. And what this AI thing does, and why it's so dangerous, is if we allow it to set a precedent that you can do this and it's okay, what stops companies from creating jingles with Mariah Carey's voice? Or what stops movies from just using AI to put in Morgan Freeman's voice as narrator and things like that? Mm-hmm. That's where it starts getting too far. And as we talked before, if these artists that are making these beats and these lyrics are so good and are so confident in their styles, go pay someone that is a musical artist to record your lyrics for you if you're not confident in doing it yourself. And that's understandable. Not everybody can rap. Not everybody can do or sing. So go find the people who can, because there's tons out there on YouTube. There's tons out there on any site that you need to find.
It blows my mind that some people are okay with these concepts, but like aren't okay with like the idea of like deepfakes, which is also very wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, like, if you see deepfakes and you're like, oh, deepfakes are bad, using AI voice and deepfakes is bad, then why is it okay for music? Especially when it's the person's profession. Like, I think it's funny when they use AI to like imitate like Barack Obama and Donald Trump rapping or dissing each other on a rap song, right? Like, that shit's funny, but it's obviously satire. It's not real.
Yeah.
But you're using actual musical artists to make songs that are not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're actually trying. You're actually trying to make these artists on your song, and that's not okay.
Mm-hmm. It's straight up fraud. And like, I don't care what anybody said. It is straight up fraud.
Yeah, it is.
The only reason that your video went viral is because it sounded like Drake. You are using Drake's image, you are using Drake's voice to gain popularity. That is fraud. That is literally thieving from Drake. And I don't care who it is. Like, I wouldn't be okay if they did it to us. If they're like, oh, we have Randy's voice, we have Alex's voice, and they use it. Like, it's not cool for who's taking anybody. Like, it's not okay. And the fact that there are people out there, a good majority of people that are loving it, is mind-blowing to me. In a era where identity theft is such a huge thing and people worry about it all the time, we're okay with taking it from these musicians because they have money, because they're famous already. Oh, it's not going to hurt them. What it is. Because if we allow it to happen, they become irrelevant. And then now what? Like this, and I do think it's a phase. I do think this AI phase will eventually die out, and it won't be as popular, but people still do it. People will use it. It'll just become a everyday thing. But right now, it's because it's so new and is being pushed so fast that people are like, oh my God, we're finally in the 3000 technology, when really we're in early 2000s technology when it comes to AI.
I mean, we are in an era of shortcuts. Like, let's just be real. Like, if anything, to like speed up a process or do whatever, and it's much easier to just hop on and type some stuff in to get whatever than to spend, your life dedicated to a specific thing.
Yeah, that's like South Park nailed it on the head. Like, ChatGPT and all these AI technologies that we have out there are, like you said, are shortcuts. He used it to text his girlfriend. They use it to write papers. I've seen on Twitter people like, oh, I'm a lawyer and I use this to write my briefs, and I use this to do that, not realizing that ChatGPT is 2 years behind on data. That is a lot of time to be behind on data. And I've used it enough for my videos, and because I do like the top 10 musical artists of 1990, or the top award-winning people of blah blah blah. And I've typed it in enough, and I've had to it'll give me a list. Like, for example, it was like movies. It was Johnny Depp one. Johnny Depp's top grossing movies, 5 grossing movies. And it gave me Apollo 13 as one of his top grossing movies. And then you had to go, I don't think Johnny Depp was in Apollo 13. And they're like, you're right. I was wrong. My information was wrong. And then it rewrites the list in the wrong order, and again gives you the wrong movie. And if you're a newbie to AI, or if you just don't care, you're going to put out the information it gives you. People take it as gospel because it's an AI, it can't be wrong. And it's a dangerous thing right now, of how much dependency people have on AI to do things.
Like I said, I think AI is a really good tool for things. I think, like, especially for people that don't fully understand how to do a thing yet, or just struggle a little bit with pushing their ideals. But it should not be a replacement for other things.
Yeah.
Like, it is, I don't know.
No, well, like I said, I use it. Like you said, I think it's a good shortcut for mundane things. So, like me doing it to find the top 5. Yeah, I could go Google and blah, blah, blah and do it. It's just a shortcut for me going to different sites to compile all the information. I allow ChatGPT to do that for me. But for people to use it to write full-length papers, which is going to clearly plagiarize, because it's going to steal other people's information, because it's not free thinking, or to use it to write briefs, I guess it kind of works because you use legal precedent to write briefs and stuff like that. But it's still a ton of misinformation, ton of outdated information. People just need to be wise. Yeah, that's AI is on a dangerous cliff. It's at that tipping edge where it can go one way or the other and screw people over. And I think we're at the point where people using AI music is going to screw people over. It's going to give a lot more power to the music industry. They're going to use this AI fascination as the basis for why they need more control over the music and its artists. And people aren't going to like that. Like, you hate music industry now, like, you're just giving them fuel to the fire to win a legal case to get more power.
Yeah, it will definitely die out eventually, but we have to get through this awful phase and realize that it's not okay before it does.
Yeah.
Because eventually it will start doing much, much more harm than good. And I think it will do more harm than good before it goes away.
I agree.
Super unfortunate.
Yeah. It's a nice little thing, but people are taking it too far.
Too far, yeah.
But that's I think that's it for today on this topic. If you guys enjoy this style,
no, it's not. There was another situation. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. There was another situation where a YouTube channel that I'm fond of, I like a lot. They're called Corridor Digital. They made it to they used AI to turn themselves into anime. I don't know if you've seen this or heard about this controversy. Okay, so they use AI to turn themselves into anime. They do a lot of preference what they do. They do a lot of like digital movie shit.
Yeah.
Where you can like it's just special effects and all this stuff. So they do a lot of movie stuff, or they used to, and now it's more like kind of going into how to do all of it and stuff. Super cool. I recommend checking them out. But they made themselves anime, and by filming themselves in real life and then feeding it to the AI device that they trained to turn their real life images into anime.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is that they had to train this AI by using an anime, like actual anime. They fed episodes of an actual anime to this AI because they wanted that specific style.
Yeah.
And they said it's okay because they just wanted the style. It wasn't like they copied, but it takes legitimate lines and frames from
it's legitimately copying. That's what an AI does.
Yeah. So the issue become like in this scenario, the issue was like, was this morally correct to do? Which I feel like it's obvious as a no, but there was a lot of people that were saying it was fine. And they're saying like AI opens the possibilities of these things, so like they don't understand because like technically a company that owns and that made an anime and owns said anime could do it, right? If they wanted to replicate that style or whatever. But like the issue still comes of like, is it morally okay to take the work of like the workers of that studio at the time, or even like someone doing that in general, which I don't think so at all. It's fucking awful. But again, it's one of those situations that blows my mind that it's like, is a conversation, because I swear like 10 years ago, if you even were to bring up the concept of that, people would be like, that's awful. Why would you even do that? Like, who would do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think this, looking at it from the other side, for people who are on support of being able to do this, and this is what it'll come down to, like the word train. We use the word train when we're talking about AI. I can see people who believe it as similar as someone spending countless hours learning the style of Demon Slayer, learning to draw that way, and then trying to get a job at said studio to draw their style. Or, for example, Rick and Morty, when it turns out that you know they had to get rid of
Justin
Roiland, they wanted people that sounded like Rick and Morty still to be able to do the voices. They didn't want new people; they wanted people that sounds like them. So you went out and found people who had worked and learned to sound like those actors as impersonators. Is that not the same thing that they're trying to do with AI? But and that's their argument is, we're just teaching our AI to do what humans already do and have done for a while.
But again, there's this lifelessness to AI. Like the Drake song is probably that one we talked about earlier is probably the best one I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will not front. It sounds like the best, but there are still parts in it that is lifeless. That is very, very.
Yeah, Drake is very close in it. I think
Weekend's awful. I think Weekend's awful.
I think Drake is very close, but there are Drake things that you can't replicate.
Yes, because it's not real, and that's
it's not human. Yeah,
and that's the difference. Is that like you'll never? I don't think there'll ever be a point while we're alive. Or maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is possible, but I don't think there will be a point where it gets far enough that it becomes that indistinguishable. I can't say that word.
Yeah, indistinguishable.
Can't tell the difference. Yeah. I don't know, dude. The more it comes up, the more I feel like it's morally wrong to just use in general. But
yeah.
And it's only because it's like one of those things. People are going to ruin it for everyone else who use it appropriately because they want to, I don't know. And like, again, it's weird because I understand the feeling of wanting to be able to do something that you can't do. Like people who want to draw but can't draw. But the issue is that it's not that hard to learn how to draw or how to paint. Like you just got to be dedicated for a few years and you'll get there. It literally only takes 2 to 5 years for you to become a very well-rounded artist, for example, right? It only takes, so the amount of time that you're taking cheating, I'm just gonna say it, cheating, you could be spending actually practicing with it. And like, granted, art supplies are expensive, right?
Yeah.
But like, that's just the cost of a hobby. All hobbies are expensive. But like, you just spend the time doing the art. Within time, you will learn. Just because it's not happening instantly doesn't mean you're not improving. Like, it does just take time. And if you focus and use your time wisely, you'll become a very, very good artist again within 5 years. Like if you focus on one medium or one type, like portraits, if there's a thing, or painting flower, like you will become very good at this thing very quickly.
Yeah,
as long as you just stick with it and stay dedicated, like with anything else too, you know.
No, I agree. Well, it's that time.
Yeah.
Where you allow yourself.
You don't allow me to do shit.
You allow yourself, and we love to listen to your shout outs.
Yeah. I actually didn't have one prepared, so it's just going to be shout out to all the individuals that have listened to us these last few weeks, and now that we come back and done a little bit more, who have also returned. We appreciate that so much. We had a little hiatus, so I get it, you know.
No, yeah, I agree. Thank you guys. Thank you. We're gonna try to do, like I said earlier before we went on another rant. If you like this style of episode where we just talk about trending topics and give you our opinions on it, let us know in comments or DM us or whatever you want. We're anywhere podcasts can be found. We post daily on Facebook, post daily on TikTok, post daily on YouTube. So find us there, Hypothetically Sound. And until next time.
Hey, you know what's
a great day. What?
You know what sucks, dog, is that I'll never, ever have someone sit there and listen to us and be like, wow, this guy's spitting, because I can't articulate my words properly enough to say the things I want to say that make me sound way smarter than I am. I just sound stupid as hell. I sound like an idiot that makes kind of a point, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like, wow, this guy ain't saying shit, but he's saying a lot. Like, that's the kind of thing I'm going for, and I can't do it. I can't ever be that. I just be the idiot that, like, he made a point and then, I don't know, it was gibberish.
Well, Alec, with some training.
All right, fuck off.
Some hard work and dedication.
ChatGPT next episode. Thanks, let's go.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.